Shout out Big Steve.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Big Brain MMA pod. I'm your host, like always, BigSteve, full-time bettor from Australia. This week, we're trying to make money on UFC Vegas 91 and probably a little bit of LFA. So not as crazy regionally wise as last week. Did we make money last week? No, not really, unfortunately. So let's get into it, shall we? Do a little quick recap and get straight into it. I'll bring my guest in and go from there. So first I tackled ACA. I played Renato Gomez, pardon me. Really liked that play. I had a whole 1,000 on it, half a unit. It was plus 180. I was going to go a full unit on it. That's how much I like the dog. He knocked out Alexei first time around. And yeah, I just thought, this Alexei guy, I've had him in Bellator before. He's still chinny. It's a striking fight. Gomez is 37, but he had a really good fight against Maya, and he beat a bunch of dudes on his losing streak in ACA. Apparently, he won round 1, got wrestled round 2, and was cut up a bunch. And then the doctor stopped it. So I lost $1,000 there, but that was one of my favorite bets of the week. PFL, straight away start off with regretting passing the Tadjin under at Pick'em. Obviously, he won in 2 minutes. Then I lost a whole 1,000 on Otto Rodriguez when the line almost came in to pick him. As I said on the pod, he wasn't dog or pass for me. I kind of liked Otto, but I couldn't play him at minus 200. So with the line went to 177, I had to play him for half a unit. Again, the dude was tired halfway through round 1. Just I hate PFL and the way compromised fighters come in there. He's just retarded, whatever. Don Marge, I played some under. I played Marge round sub. Like I said on the pod that I liked it. I played Marge minus 3.5 handicap, all small because it's bet online and all stupid ass limits. But yeah, I won there. I parlayed his under with Kizria, which won as well. I only poked Murad Ramazanov KO a little bit, which is paying better than sub. Annoying because he was pounding him out in mount for ages and then got the rear naked choke. Put $150 on Bubba Jenkins live after round 2. I thought it was maybe 2-0 Bubba. Just a tiny poke to win $500. And then had nothing till Shamil Musaev. I played 650 on the under plus money. As I said, I really liked him as a dog, and then I just decided to go with the under instead, plus money. I thought his path was a KO, and then slowly had some finishing upside. Then I played some Brandon Lachlan KO finish at $2 on Meds. That same price was like minus 200 on BetOnline. And yeah, that got me to about 900 profit after, going straight in a hole with Rodriguez. So that almost covered the ACA. And then Cage Warriors have just passed everything, which is annoying. I liked so many plays. Yeah, and just passed everything. I don't know why. I grinded. And then Octagon, I had 3 dogs. I had Altana Alvarez. She was a massive dog. I ended up getting 285. Esteban, I played him at $2.40. He got knocked out with 1 punch, which is retarded. And I ended up playing mixed Stanton with Camille. There was not much tape on Camille, and he was just running through fools in FEN, and he's a brown belt. He's got wrestling, and I'm like, this guy's got power, but I don't know what his decision equity is like because there's no tape out there. But I thought, if he knocks out a really old, washed-looking Stanton, he's got a chance. But yeah, apparently it looked like crap, so I lost $500 there. The dog that I played the least ended up winning, which was Altana. I had that feeling anyway. So yeah, just kind of like a little bit of a loss, but just annoyed. Yeah, I was going to smash Hendon. I was going to put him in all the parlays. I didn't. There's a bunch of things I liked on Cage Warriors. I told my special guest today, and then I just went to bed. So that was the story of last week. A bunch of plays I liked, and then I get distracted by tape, and then I just never circle around and playing him, and then they win, and then I just sit there and go, why didn't I play that? And I literally have no reason. So I'll try to be a little bit more aggressive this week. I told my special guest Dogfather to keep me aggressive, to keep me accountable. And I didn't even realize, but there's a chance I might be negative for this month as well. Considering I won big on KSW at the start of the week, and 2 out of 3 PFLs were profitable, and I profited on the first UFC. I didn't really realize that I was going to be negative, but yeah, quick month. It just sneaks up on you. So we'll see. I won't be forcing anything. If I get profit, I get profit. It's a long-term thing. So I had 2 negative months last year as well, and the rest were profitable. So shit happens either way. We'll have a good profit at the end of the year. That's all that matters, even if it's underwhelming for my standards. All right. I don't know if he knows that he's on camera. He's still muted, but how are you, sir?
Hello. How's it going?
You're still muted somehow.
Oh, really?
Anyway, I'll do the comments while old mate figures things out. 000, never seen you in here before. The Circle Jerk Homo Discord. You are correct. Join if you don't want to miss out on all that. Steve seems to save Dogfather for the less popular UFC cards. That is a low blow if you ask me. Sure is.
Can you hear me?
But ask yourself, Big Word, how many times do I ask you to be on any UFC cards? MMA Lewis, another new guy. There must be a lot of burners in today. Big ups, BJ Penn and BigSteve and Big Brain Discord. Let's go. Glimbot. Sup, gentlemen. Sup, Glimbot. That Dutch dude in Cage Warriors was cash. Which Dutch dudes? Don't remind me, man. I don't want to talk about Cage Warriors. There's just 18 fights. I liked about 7. They're all hit. So I'm going to try not think about it. Not think about my stupid passing. All right, let's get straight into it. By the way, I'm in my new house. That's why I was running a little bit late. I don't have any special lights. This is just natural light from my window. So there'll be no more caveman Steve. And I even had the curtain down. If I lifted the curtain up. Oh, boy, yeah, look at that lighting. That's even better. But I'm not going to do that. It looks like shit. All right, let's bring this fool in that can't figure out technology, this boomer.
Can you hear me now?
No, still doesn't work, mate. You
What?
suck. Worst guest ever. Anyway. Mountain bed. Crackhead tripped over my Razor scooter today. That's not good, mate. Sounds like you live in Australia. All right, I'll get straight to it. Machado Hiia versus Gabriel Benitez. Machado's. What's this? Big Bird says they can hear him. Oh, my bad. My volume was down. My bad. All right. All good. Come back, dog. Alrighty. Yeah, Machado versus Gabriel Benitez. Machado is hanging around minus 200. He should be the favorite, in my opinion, just because I think, the age, the durability, the size and power alone should make him the favorite. As everyone has been parroting this week, Benitez doesn't really have good wins. That was one of the reasons I wanted to fade him against Miller. But yeah, I still think he's quite green. He's quite hittable. So I don't know, minus 200 in a potential striking fight. I do think Gabriel is more well put together and more experienced. I don't think he can take Machado down here. We've seen, Gabriel Benitez go to wrestling when he was really uncomfortable against Charlie Ontiveros. Yeah, it's one of those fights. I'm really decided what I want to do. I definitely don't want to play the dog, so I guess it's favorite to pass. Maybe some Machado KO. I contemplated the under 1.5, and I contemplated the under 1.5, but it's a striking fight where I feel it's predicated on Machado. He's quite hittable, but I think Gabriel Benitez needs to get like a body kick or something, or just he only finished his chinny dudes, so I guess it's favorite to pass. The under, if you feel like Machado can get a KO, but it's going to be like a flying knee or a pull counter right. He has a really good right hand, and Benitez has been cracked a bunch. But yeah, let me just address this. Steve, your new place looks eerily similar to your old place, Darkness. Mate, you're late. Look at the light on the bottom of my face. That's from the window. Whoa. Let there be light. Jesus, that's Jesus. I've got the MMA gods on my side. That's why I profit every year. Alrighty. Come on, dog. Add something to the podcast, mate.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Yeah,
That's enough. All right, next fight. No, I'm joking.
No, I'm happy you're in a chipper mood. It seems like the house made you feel better, so I'm happy to see a more bright and cheery Steve instead of the depressed one on the podcast.
No,
So,
I can just yell. That's all. I couldn't yell before because it's 8 a.m. in the morning and I would wake my parents up. So I'm just like yelling. It's an empty house and I can, I'm not as boring as it seemed for the last year of, when you're living with your parents and your girlfriend in the other room and it's 7 a.m. You kind of have to whisper into the camera.
Yeah. Now you'll be slightly less boring, but probably the same amount of boring, to be honest.
Yeah, probably still depressive and everyone listening will want to kill themselves. But hopefully when the bets hit, they'll be happy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that, But I actually contemplated just playing the money line on Mahashate. He's the much younger guy here, but I do have some like weird concerns about his durability. I mean, he did survive some decent shots against Garcia. And obviously Benitez doesn't really hit nearly as hard. I tend to think he's probably going to get a KO late here, largely just because Benitez slows down a lot. And something I picked up in the Onama fight was the Kraus corner pretty much screaming at Onama to just like press him and get in his face. I know Mahashad, I feel like the Fight Ready team will probably pick up on him slowing down. As you said, he's got a really good right hand. He's got some good jumping knees. And if he's shown any improvements at this young age, I mean, I really feel like he should roll here, especially late. Fight doesn't go is kind of priced out for me. I like Mahashate KO angle. In terms of just value, I feel like everything's probably priced correctly. I feel like the late KOs are pretty wide. They're pretty wide on Bet Online, in my opinion. But he could probably dead him early, so I'll probably take a poke on the KO and KO's late.
Cool. What's just KO by itself paying? I can't go on Bet Online now.
It was like awful. It was like plus 150. I'm hoping we get something a little bit better on domestics. I'd probably play something in the 175, 200 range.
Yeah, that's disgusting. All right, let's move on. So if we can, 12 minutes for the first fight. A bit of it was my recap. We'll just try to get through. I don't want to go more than 45 minutes. All right, Ivana Petrovic, Liang. God bless anyone that's parlaying Petrovic. I see a few people. I don't think that's for me. That's for me. She's absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Just not physical, not the best wrestler. I think Liang will have definitely some success early just because of how bad Ivana is. I think Liang is actually more explosive, athletic, and there's the main issue. She just falls apart. So the thing is here, you brave enough to play the dog? Do you think she can string 3 rounds of cohesive game plan together? I don't really think so, even though there is value. Ivana Petrovic, when she does get on top, which is rare, she does have good ground and pound, and her submission attempts are also trash, where we've seen Liang get submitted by grapplers when she cardio dies. So all that is live here, I guess. As I said, Liang did look better against JJ, but she still ended up getting finished by someone that doesn't finish anyone. It just took a little bit longer than expected, still within 2 rounds. So everything's kind of like priced out pretty trash. The under 1.5 is decent, but it's like, JJ went over. And, Ivana has the same issues as JJ. She can be thrown around. Probably Liang. It's tough to trust Liang to finish anyone because, as mentioned before on many podcasts, her armbar technique is really bad. I don't think she's going to get anyone good with it. So she's just, probably going to get some top time and give up some reversals and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, and it's also hard to hit an over. It's hard to hit an over at chalk in a Liang fight. I was hoping the other 2.5 would be good, but it's disgusting. It's just dreadful. I assume that doesn't go, it'll be even worse. People are saying Ivana 2-3. I guess that could work, but you never know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if she hit round 1. And all the people she's fighting in areas, even though she's looking like shit, man. These are good fighters, Evelina Wozniak, Martina Valchek is a striker, but she's really physical. Alexandra Tekena, she beat Morris as well, and she's like 5-1 now. A lot of these fights she would lose if they weren't 5-rounders, but yeah, solid fighters, So yeah, at the moment, clear pass for me. I'm just gonna have to figure out a way to fade Liang. It's a live bet fight for me. There's no way I can play Ivana straight early. What about you?
Yeah, I don't mind the KO prop if I get a decent number here as well. Petrovic, when she does get on top, her ground and pound's nasty. She goes to knee on belly and slides into mount pretty easily, and she throws some nasty elbows. Liang will give up her back, and Petrovic does have the ability to finish a rear naked choke, but Liang just ends up being just so gassed and quitty that she'll probably just be getting just quit. So I feel like that's pretty live, especially 2-3 as well. It's hard for me not to see it happen when she just kind of like quits into half guard and just kind of gets into deep half, but doesn't get all the way there to hide her head, and then just gets pounded out with elbows from top. So yeah, I don't mind some KO props on Petrovic if I get a decent number. 2-3 seems probably the way to go, and then live bet entry seems live as well. So not Liang. I'm not touching the totals. I'm not sure how you can get a read on the totals at Pick'em. It seems Pick'em, and that's probably accurate. So not really interested on the money line side either. As you said, Petrovic doesn't really do anything to make you feel comfortable with laying the price tag, and Liang cannot be trusted. So
cool. All right, let's move on. James Lontop, Chris Padilla. Yeah, short notice for Padilla. I honestly thought he's a decent sized underdog, but I honestly thought he was going to be absolute trash, because I know Lontop is not that great. I played him against Lewis on Contender Series, and what just happened? Your browser's lost connection to your screen audio. Try sharing screen again. Right, yeah. You can still hear me, right? Cool. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, I played him against Malik Lewis, and I only played him because Lewis is just bad. He's the dude that got paced by Trevor Peak, and his cardio is dreadful. So I'm like, yeah, Linton just has to survive a bonk, and he will win. So I'm not high on him. He's like a guy with death by 1,000 cuts. And I was like, man, this Padilla must be dreadful. And, just found his last 2 fights, and one of them was Justin James. He was in the UFC, and he was kind of losing, getting dropped by every single leg kick, like really big moments from leg kicks. And then he just kept taking him down and took him down in round 2 and ground and pounded him with KO. And he did the same thing to this other guy, LG Porty, and, just kept taking this the guy before that, 15-11, and rear naked choked him in the third. So he's just like a relentless grappler. He lost to Darren Smith Jr., who's 20-12. He's not bad. He beat Rosales, a few other dudes in the regionals. He's like an athletic black dude. He's 25-13 now. And that was a split, so I tend to think that maybe there was a back-and-forth grappling fight. Devin Brock, another grappler. Obviously his early losses, to Gabe Green, Nate Andrews by submission, and Christian Aguilera and Jason Gonzalez. Some of these are bad, but they're a long, long time ago. He's 28 now, so he would have been early 20s, just like James Lintop. So I was considering the dog, honestly. He already had a fight booked against Chris Gonzalez on A1 Combat, so he'll be in camp. But yeah, the only issue is James Lintop has good get-ups, so once Padilla, goes for multiple takedowns, Lintop's going to stand up, and then it's going to be in his world again. It kind of reminds me of that Falcao fight. Falcao versus Striker, whatever his name, the other Brazilian. And I really like Falcao, but then I'm like, he's too one-dimensional. All he has is grappling, and you kind of might lose down the stretch, and he did. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I'm also considering the over. The under is like really, really juiced. And as I said, Lintop, death by 1,000 cuts. Couldn't finish Malik, who was gassed after round 1. So those are things I'm considering. What about you?
Yeah, I thought Padilla was going to be much worse on tape, but it looks like, like you said, a lot of his early losses or when he was super young. He's still pretty young, and to be honest, he probably has the better experience overall than Lontop. But, his game is mostly predicated on grappling, and Lontop has shown, decent anti-grappling. He's really, Lontop's pretty young too. I don't mind his game. I think his boxing isn't bad at all. Packs pop in both hands, moves pretty well. He's just nothing special. So the price is pretty egregious considering he's not like a top prospect. And the short notice aspect, I do think the line is wide, but I do think Lontop wins at a pretty fairly high clip. I wish the under was a little bit of a better price because, it seems like both guys hunt for the finish, and Padilla is super hittable on the feet. So I do feel a finish is live. But I'm not willing to pay -170, 60, 65% feels probably 65-ish% probably feels accurate to me for an under 2.5. So this fight is a pass, despite me probably seeing value in Padilla.
Yeah, same. All right, speaking of fights that are passes, by the way, I got this wrap it up down here. Just so when you're talking too much, I'm just going to wrap it up. Wrap it up, dog. All righty. Caitlin Souza, Manik, man. Yeah, pass fight for me. I don't think Souza's that good. I just played the under last time she fought because I thought the chick that we're going to talk about would run absolutely through her, and she did with some weird straight ankle lock knee bar variation. She's dropping down. Manik has a path. She will grapple. Souza can be taken down. But Souza is coming back now, and she's dropping down to a natural weight class. The main issue with Man is her physicality, and I feel like Souza can kind of negate some of the grappling with that. So I'm not really interested in the dog. I'm just going to live bet it. I don't want to donate to this pre. And oh shit, wrap it up. All right. Pass fight. What do you say? What do you say, dog?
Not interested in Man. I thought I would be, but I just can't do it. I was kind of thinking maybe there was possible for like a Souza finish, but Man's just too tough, so can't really find an angle to play this one.
Yep, I considered decision. I considered KO as well, which is probably paying a bit better. I haven't looked at it, but yeah, it's one of those. Who knows? Maybe she's got power at this weight class. She's still young. She's only 28. A lot of girls have grappled, man. The last chick, Kamzat's Miso, she grappled. Pepe Silva makes a really good point. Dogfather not interested in Man, but he's interested in men. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's why he's a great capper. All right. So Dontel Mays, Kaya Machado. So this is one of the fights that, it's pick 'em now, and I'm trying to get better at not taping fights. The ones that I just have a feel is a waste of time for the weekends like last week where there is 5-6 regional shows on. So this is the fight that was sacrificed now. I know for a fact that I won't be interested in anything. I know my friend played a little bit Machado, small dog, and now it's Pick'em, and now everyone's on different sides of the spectrum. So I just know I won't be interested in this fight, and I refuse to take either one of these guys because I know their game and their bums. So you like anything, dog?
No. I would like Machado dog because I just think he would do more than Mays, despite Mays having some grappling upside. Can't really trust him to do anything, though, to be honest with you. I understand why you'd place a wager on Mays, but it's more so fading Machado than you liking Mays, in my opinion. So this one's a pass as well. The under really, I mean, even like the props I don't have much interest for. Machado, Machado's KO line is kind of awful too. Mays is durable. It's a pass for me.
Yeah, man, it's just a dreadful fight. I like Machado on willingness to fight alone. Like he gives more out there, but it's just the cardio and the lack of skill is just evens it out, Alrighty. Austin Hubbard versus Michael Figlak, I guess. Michal, maybe. Yeah. I'm leaning Figlak, but how much value is on at this line? Obviously, the public is caught on, and even more money is coming on Figlak, so he's now like a decent favorite. $1.60 on Bet365. I'm not sure what he's on Bet Online. He'll come forward, and I like his game from Cage Warriors. Retaping it again now. I think he just kind of dropped the ball in France in his UFC debut against Firas, who was up for it. Firas throwing spinning elbows for the first time in his career, and then he just went back to fighting really average against Puelles again. I think that was kind of like an outlier. Austin Hubbard, I'm not really impressed with the guy. I was really close to fading him against that dude Kurt Holobar, who looked dreadful just recently, and getting submitted by him is also it's weird and unexpected because he got grappled by Davy Ramos and Mark Madsen and Max Roshkov and a bunch of these good grapplers, and they couldn't submit him, and then just Kurt Holobar out of nowhere, hits a triangle. So he might just be like a bit over everything. I'm not impressed by any of his wins. So yeah, it's just a pass fight. I would rather play it's Figlak or pass, maybe Figlak decision, but yeah, just not much interest personally. What about you?
Yeah, I have a pretty big position on some early Figlak line at like plus 105 and minus 110. Uh, yeah, I just think Figlak has most of the upside in this fight. He's the younger fighter. I know he had ACL surgery, but it's been a bit of a while since he's been in the gym. He looks like he's in good shape, and I do kind of believe that the Perez performance was a bit of a debut stunt. We've seen it happen a lot. He was, in France, and I'm not really impressed with Hubbard's game. His control's not great, and he doesn't really have a decent win in the past like 5 years. I feel like his best win is probably Kyle Prepelec, which is like 2019. I rate him higher than Rushkoff, Bush, and Lane, to be honest, and Agnew. So just didn't feel like he looked great in the Hollabout performance. And, he doesn't really do anything to me that, makes me want to bet on him, to be honest. So the under is a big price. It's kind of interesting. Both guys will go to scrap. So it could look value, but they're also both very durable. Not really sure how I'd want to play it now. I think Figlak KO is pretty interesting. I mean, the guy packs some pop, and in the last fight, ironically, I feel like Hollabout has a little bit of that style, that like big pressure boxing style that made Hubbard uncomfortable. So maybe a KO from Figlak is live. He's got some pop, and it's like plus 600, 700 right now. So probably has some value.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of wish that he knocked out some more of those, cage warrior bums. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can't fault it at a big number, I guess. Alrighty. Rani Yaha, Victor Henry. This feels like the donation fight of the week. Like I was really close on Rani Yaha. I think the dude still has some gas in the tank. Victor Henry, been said many times before, can be grappled. Constantly throwing kicks and, getting himself taken down, like Rafael Sensao fight. Not really trustworthy at this big favorite line. But his takedown defense, wasn't too bad in the later rounds against Rafael Sensao when Josh Barnett yelled at him and said, look, stop throwing stuff. Stop throwing spinning kicks like that. And he looked really decent against Tony Gravely as well, who I thought was obviously, I think it's clear that he's a much better wrestler than Hani Yaha. So he's got takedown defense when he wants it. I remember his regional tape, I did the same thing. I go, it's hard to tell if his takedown defense is good or not. Sometimes he's just flopping to his back and playing guard, and other times he really tries to stop it. I think he's obviously going to put the effort in and not want to go to the ground with Rani Yaha in this case, kind of like he did against Gravely. But yeah, he's gonna make mistakes. He doesn't have one punch KO power, so at least early, you would think Rani's going to get something going. Maybe take him down. He gives his back to get up. He scrambles. You don't want to scramble against Yaha because he's going to win that most of the time. Yaha was up 2-0 against Bazola, and then he got 10-8 in round 3 because he gasses. So maybe live bet Victor Henry. If Yaha does something well early, and then kind of like the Liang fight, and then jump in on him. He's got great cardio. His volume, he looked like he was about to melt Gravely, who's extremely durable. Gravely usually gets subbed, and it looked like he was breaking him with all the body kicks, the knees to the body. Like that's just going to gas out Yaha even more. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't want to play Yaha. I just feel like I'm donating, and obviously no way I can play the unders. Maybe the unders. I like the over when it was plus money, but I hesitated and didn't play it. I didn't want to play the over. I didn't want to play the 2.5 rounds and just watch Henry absolutely pace him for 2.5 rounds and be gassed in there and just have horrible body language. But yeah, nothing again for me. What about you?
Yeah, I donated at plus 385. More so because I think there's an opportunity for like a live bet exit if Yaya doesn't look completely washed. I think he has a little bit more gas in the tank than the market's giving him credit for after getting starched by Montel Jackson. Victor Henry is not Montel Jackson. And he doesn't have the power to really deter him as much as I think, isn't really being priced into this. He could be completely washed, but if there's one thing jiu-jitsu guys know how to do, it's grapple and do jiu-jitsu. And Yaya does do a good job at creating grappling exchanges by shooting onto single legs and at least trying to drag you down or create exchanges where you might give up your back. And Henry's shown the propensity to do that. So I think he is pretty maybe. He has great people. So, it might be a situation where all it takes is one slip up, one trip, and, Yaha can control from top position. I mean, guys, once he gets you down, I mean, it's incredibly challenging for guys to get up from under him. So yeah, I just have to play it because the line feels crazy for Henry's margins. And going off of the gravelly and Sun's performances, he still can be grappled. He's not Kamaru Usman level of takedown defense. He still is, a catch wrestler base, and he does want to grapple. So
yeah,
he probably does, like in most iterations of this fight, he probably does, melt Yaha late, and then Yaha just pulls guard and survives to a decision. But there are some opportunities. I think Yaha could potentially like get a backpack off a back take and win around here at a pretty high clip. And then, maybe there's some opportunities there for him to edge some stuff with just, minor grappling exchanges.
Cool. Yeah. Good luck to you. Alrighty. Team means Uroš Medic. So I played this early. I thought the line was going to move heaps, and it didn't. So I played the under 1.5. It was plus 155 because it was one time that it was actually up when totals opened up on Bet Online. As you know, that's like midnight on a Sunday. I'm usually in bed after a long day of gambling. And I played it, and I quickly taped the fight. And I was like, yeah, this KO, Medic should just run through people. And, kind of like his early fights. And then upon retape, I was like, I don't know if I would really play this because it's one-sided. If it's going to be an under 1.5, it's going to be Medic running through him. Team means is going to be the reason that it goes over. Obviously, he almost made it go under against Fiala, but Fiala is extremely chinny and just a bummy fighter, and he's gassed, within 5 minutes. Uroš is not that bad. He got finished under by Turner. That's about it. And it was dropped by Semi, which, it's not a big deal. About 1 out of 3 fighters get dropped by Semi in the UFC. So yeah, I got a good read on the thing. I feel like Tim Means, he can be dropped a lot, but he doesn't really go out. You have to kill him cold, and a bunch of people have done it, and he just gets up and wrestles, and then he gets submitted. I haven't seen Uroš go for one guillotine yet, but the thing is, he loves going for those Travis Brown elbows, and once he cracks you, he's good at framing and then throwing hooks. He's good at countering. The speed's going to be massive. So I'm hoping he just catches Means and he blitzes through him, kind of what I did to Alan Cruz, and then kind of what he attempted to do to Uralbai. Uralbai took a lot of shit in that fight. Like, he went for a takedown, he got stuffed, he ate a knee, he got framed on, he ate another elbow, and he was just busted up. And then luckily he got a takedown. I feel like that would just kill Tim Means. That would kill Tim Means. But yeah, I did want to tip it to the Discord because it reminded me of the Blindado versus Weidman fight, where only Blindado had the finishing upside, and as soon as Weidman won, he went over easily. So yeah, I couldn't do it, but now that it's moved, I feel like it's the best play on the card. As someone here is saying, there will be blood. Medic KO line is crap. Medic 1 and 2 is crap. So the under 1.5 is at the early lines is probably the best play because at least that covers a bit of Means, and it just covers submissions and stuff like that. So yeah, otherwise past fight, if you're gonna bet Means, I'm just gonna lie bet him. He kind of needs to survive here for 1.5 rounds, 2 rounds for me to even consider him. He needs to bring out a war out of Medic, but yeah, I feel like the technique is going to be the speed difference in technique is going to be massive here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't completely mind Means, but I don't completely mind Means, but I just don't know if I can do it. I mean, a lot of folks are going to talk about him loving to get submitted, but he gets hurt a lot, and then club and subbed. So I don't really trust his durability as much as I probably think. I don't trust his submission defense. Not really concerned for Medic here, but I can see him being finished pretty early at a pretty high clip. So I don't mind the underplay right now. Probably wish it was a little bit juicier for me to take a stab at it, I probably would have played 160 like you got. But right now, not really enough for me to want to do anything. Some of the means inside the distance props were pretty crazy. So it is a little interesting. I mean, Means is a pretty solid finisher. But Medic has shown that he can be finished. But that's Turner and Orlby, so goes without saying it's probably unlikely. So pass fight for me, I can't really find anything that I can have an angle on where I feel like there's a notable edge for me to want to play anything. So I'm just going to pass on this one.
Cool. Alrighty. Jonathan Pearce, David Onama. Pearce was minus 200. I think a little bit of money came in on Onama. Not too sure what it's on Bet Online. I definitely think it's dog or pass. I know that you played him. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to steal your thunder and stop you from waffling on, and you have to give the reason why you played him when your time is on. But yeah, I'm considering. I have a good read on this fight, which is good. Obviously, he's going to hit takedowns. Jonathan Pearce is going to hit takedowns. Onama has issues with the takedowns. He's always had issues, even against Gabriel Santos in his last one. He just can't really stop it. I just think it's, he's too green. There's a lot of things to add to his game still. Obviously, you can give him a pass against Jones on extremely short notice, but he lost 29-28 there still because he beat the crap out of Jones in round 3 on short notice. He was getting taken down, putting in deep submission attempts against Gabriel Santos. Again, got up, beat the crap out of him in round 2, knocked him out. Santos extremely durable, but he is extremely hittable. So kind of like Pearce, right? So it's possible. I think Onama can kill anyone really when he strings a couple of combinations together. So yeah, it's a scary bet because Onama's going to be getting taken down. Pearce is not going to slow down while he's taking him down. He's going to rinse and repeat it. Onama will get up. He does give his back up, but Pearce, I don't think his control is the best. You look through Pearce's career, he lost round 1 to Kai. He was getting jabbed up, and I'm pretty sure he lost round 1 to Omar Morales. Maybe he got it because he hit a takedown at the end, but I don't think so. That's another physical guy. Elkins, did much better than he should have. I thought he lost round 1 to Brito. He pulled guard at the end there, so he really didn't like the physicality. That's the first time I kind of seen some mental issues with Pearce. I've never seen him pull guard on anyone before. He won 29-28 against extremely short notice C-Rod. Say what you will, but C-Rod has no power. And the reason he lost 29-28 is because C-Rod put him in some deep subs and he was landing straight punches. And then you look at Onama and it's like those straight punches will either knock out Pearce or they're going to be a lot more eye-catching. So the other rounds where C-Rod landed straight punches and it wasn't enough to sway the judges when Pearce took him down, that could be enough for judges to give Onama the rounds because damage is everything now. And when Onama lands straight punches on you, your head's like flying back and that shit looks brutal, right? It looked like every time he did it on Jones, the commentators were screaming. So yeah, it's a dog or pass. It's just how brave are you? Do you think Onama can just get up for 3 rounds and land damage and not get finished and not gas out? We've seen him gas out against Nate. But yeah, dog or pass. I feel like he has decision equity, so I don't really know about playing the KO. I'll be annoyed if he wins a decision, but that's where I'm at right now. I don't think he has any sub upside though.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Pearce is going to hit takedowns here. It's just what is Onama's ability to get up? I played him at plus 170 when people decided that Jonathan Pearce 200 against Power was a good idea. And I know Onama is I would probably say like a C plus grappler. Well, he's definitely got F takedown defense, but I think he's kind of like a B level grappler. He's not completely inept on the mat, when he gets down there, he gives up his back, but he finds some miracle way to explode out of back takes a lot of the time. And, I know it's kind of crazy that he's lucking all of these back takes, but fool me once, fool me twice. He's done it like 5 times in the UFC where he's just somehow miraculously exploded out of back takes. And I know that will probably, mess with his cardio. He does slow down in fights, and Pearce just might be on him like a blanket for 3 rounds and just, blanket him. But I don't necessarily rate his control. He's very hittable, doesn't really like physicality. And a lot of the guys that he's fighting don't really hit nearly as hard as Onama. I know Brito cracks, but he doesn't really string long combinations together like Onama does. He's not as technical on the feet. If this stays standing, I think Pierce is in big trouble for the amount of time that it will be standing. And I don't think Onama is as bad of a grappler as folks are giving him credit for. He just doesn't have the greatest takedown defense. He's training at Factory X now. This will be his second camp there. He's training with Bulgarian, Yusuf Salal, other, pretty high level, 145ers who have been showing improvements in their game. Also, a high level wrestler in Bulgarian who's just had a training camp. I assume they, are training together regularly. I feel like there are some baked in improvements. He was prior at Glory MMA and Fitness with James Krause for his first couple UFC fights, but his first fight with Factory, the Santos fight. So I'm expecting to see some improvements from Onama here with his athletic upside and ability. So I'm willing to take a shot on him as a dog.
Cool. Good luck. I might come around to it. Alrighty. Let's save some time on this one, right? Jonathan Denise versus Austin Lane. He really should knock out Austin Lane in round 1. Lane is extremely chinny. He got knocked out by a 5'10" fat Tafa, so a glory kickboxer, 6'4", that actually has some combinations and knees up the middle should knock him out. Probably the best way to play him. He seems to have good takedown defense as well. So yeah, don't want to overcomplicate it. The under is dreadful. Obviously, stuff will look weird if Lane ends up getting on top of him somehow. He is the more athletic guy with the whole NRL background, NFL. But yeah, I mean, round 1 Denise is the only way I'm really interested in playing. Do you agree, or shall we?
Yeah, I played round 1 at plus 105. The KO. I mean, I don't know how it can't look huge value. I think this for
if he doesn't knock him out.
Yeah, like if he knocks him out in 3 minutes, plus 105 is going to look massive value. So it's hard for me not to look at a plus money prop on a kickboxer that actually, I know folks will say he's slow, he's hittable. I don't think he's that slow. I mean, he is pretty hittable. He definitely has a little bit of a kickboxing high shell style, but he does counter well. He does seem super durable. I like his pressure. You can kind of tell he sort of waits to figure out what you're going to do for the first couple minutes of the first round. And then he sort of opens up and pressures you and corrals you and finds ways to counter. I like his striking for heavyweight. I mean, a lot of the times we
gotta wrap it up. You're playing round 1 KO?
Round 1 KO, yeah. That's it.
All right, beautiful. He's a good kickboxer. All right. Karine Silva, Ariane Lipsky. I can't decide on this fight. I guess Karine as an underdog was a good play. I mean, she could still be a good player as a favorite because she's. I don't know if you agree with me. She most likely gets a finish. Ariane is good. I've been on her for a while now. I wasn't on JJ because I was a pussy ass. I was on her against Mandy Bowman Pick'em, and then I was on her against Casey O'Neill at huge numbers, and I think we all were on the Discord. I think the whole world was. I don't know one person that didn't bet Lipsky there. Lucrative, you, the Discord, my friend in Canada, everyone was on her and the line didn't move, and she ended up destroying her. So, but I still have that in the back of my mind that she doesn't have no head movement. She's, once she gets hit, everything goes out the window. And the ground game, once she's on bottom, there's issues. But her takedown defense is elite at the moment. I feel like it's elite. Even when Gatto took her down, she had a strong whizzer and she was straight back up on her feet. And she even used that whizzer to throw Gatto and, get off her. So I still have that in the back of my mind, And I think Karine improved a lot. She cracks. She's got hands. She's a lot more physical. You can see the body transformation. And obviously the jiu-jitsu is just, there. So just one of those fights where at minus money, if Ariane Lipsky keeps it on the feet, yeah, she's going to have that speed and the aggression. But if Karina throws a 1-2 down the pipe and drops Lipsky, then all hell breaks loose. I don't know how to read the fight. So yeah, I consider the under, but it's quite chalky. Other than that, I have no plays at the moment. What about you?
Yeah, I'm passing Lipsky live's probably the way. Silva still seems gassy to me. She looked gassy in her Contender Series fight before she snatched up a submission. not really interested in price since the price is pretty. Lipsky is super hittable. But Silva doesn't really throw any straight punches. Everything's just kind of winging. But she does crack. She does have a dangerous submission game. But I don't trust her cardio past round 1. So not really interested on Lipsky live because I feel like she's going to be in danger. But I feel like any decent Lipsky price after 6 minutes, even at juice, will probably be value if she's stuffing takedowns. But who knows? I'll probably enter on Lipsky live at like -150 for her to get memed with like a wheel kick or trip into a guillotine. So I'll be there.
Cool. Alrighty. Next fight. Can you help me out with this straight away? Ryan Spann versus Bogdan Gusco, the most volatile fight in weeks. What's the under on Bet Online right now on this fight?
I thought -250 range.
-250. What is that? Does that mean it hasn't moved?
No, I don't think anybody's touched it really.
Oh yeah, so it's the same still, 71%. Cool. That still has to have some value, right? Some people wouldn't play that or they would parlay it, but I think I'm just putting a play in the Discord right now.
I mean, to be honest with you, like, could that just not look like absolute free money?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, this could be done in like 2 minutes.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
And with under, like I always talk about, like with under 1.5s, it's like it doesn't have to finish in the first round. Like we still have another 2.5 minutes for these idiots to finish each other, And this could finish at any instant. So yeah, I wish the price was a little bit better. I mean, maybe I mean if fight doesn't start round 2, I could find a decent price, like around 65-ish%. I'd probably be interested, but I don't know. I was a little bit interested in Gusco, especially like Gusco KO1. Were some pretty good prices out there. I didn't mind them. They were like plus 450-ish. Seems pretty crazy. Spann is a little chinny, and Gusco does crack. He's an awkward striker. But that's about it for me from like what I think there could be value on. I do think the under could be good. And I do think the fight doesn't start round 2 could be good. It's just all price depending for me right now. So still trying to figure out how I want to play this fight. I feel like I really want to just play something here because I feel like there's definitely free money to be made on this fight.
Yeah, you just said it's the unders or end in round 1. That's pretty much it. And if it goes out of round 1, then so be it. But the only fight that ended in early round 2 was Clark, because Clark was literally running away for the entire fight, and then he got caught, and then he put his head in the guillotine. And Smith Spann the last one where I played the under 1.5, and then Spann almost knocked him out at the start of round 2. But at the start of round 1, there was still swinging. There was swinging bombs, but it's and he had a lot of overhand rights from Smith, and it was just like the one time that Spann actually had a chin. I'm like, how is he eating these overhand rights from Smith? So I think that was an outlier. I think here I played the under 1.5. I just wanted to put it in the Discord first because I forgot, and he hasn't moved, so I just thought I'd tip it out. I mean, it's 71% at -250. You got to give it at least 80%. Like, how many times does this go over? Like, Bogdan literally, his hands are completely low. The reason I can't play anything is his hands are completely low. And it just takes 1-2 from Spann down a pipe to kill him. Right? He's been killed before in round 1. Every time he gets hit by Pauga and Volkan, you kind of see that he has a good chin, but he also reacts weird at the same time. So the jury's out on Gusco still for me. I played him against Pauga. We all know. We were all in the Discord. We cashed, and I put it on Twitter as well. But that's Pauga, man. But if you can kill Pauga, you can kill Spann. Right? He can kill. This guy's got power. I don't know why people think shit on him. So extremely volatile fight. I'm not the type of gambler that goes, oh, I'm going to play Bogdan because it's 50-50 and Bogdan can kill him. No, because it's just the easy way to lose money. Spann just kills him in 2 seconds. You're like, oh damn, I had value, but not really. I'm just gonna. I just smashed the juiced unders, and whoever gets killed, I don't give a shit. But let's move on. Round 1 could be good too. Alrighty, main event, and we kind of saved some time. What are we at? 49 minutes here? Not really. I still have to pack. Yeah, it's a dog pass for me. I haven't pulled the trigger on Perez, but I was really close, man. I thought he did quite well in his last performance against Mokaev. I don't think Nicolau in a 5-rounder, with how negative he is, with how chinny he is, with how susceptible he is to calf kicks, Perez is just a tank. He comes forward. He's a really good wrestler. Obviously, we've seen that again in the Mokaev fight. He's got good jiu-jitsu, got good dasses. Yes, he's been submitted a bunch by Davison and Pantoja early in his career. Nicolau went for a guillotine against Cup. Is that live? Yeah, maybe. It's hard to get a read on Perez, This is probably going to be a bit less rusty than the Mokaev fight. I like his cardio. He's durable. So, yeah, man, I just think he's going to pressure Nicolau for 5 rounds, and it's hard to get a read on a fight, but it just feels like there's value, right? Unless Nicolau just makes him look like Matt Schnell. That's the only time he really covered this line, right? He didn't look minus 185 against Dvorak or Team Elliott or Manel Karp. So, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just haven't played it yet. So, yeah, dog a pass for me, man. And I kind of like the under just without a proper read because Chinny and the other guy can get subbed. But then he got hit, and now I'm thinking it's going to be like a competitive 5-round decision. So I can't decide on the total. So I think the best play here is the dog, personally. Or if you don't have the balls, just leave it and live bet it.
Yeah, I like the price on Perez right now. I'm waiting to see what happens. It seems like plus 165 has been holding for a long time. I know somebody probably will come in and play it, but even at like plus 145, 150 range, I still feel like there's value. Nicolau's not really covering this price ever. I like the over. I don't mind it. At the earlier price, it was like plus 115, 120 earlier today. Even like GTD at like plus 145, 155. Nicolau's durability, I think, is a little bit overstated. He got knocked out by a head kick a long time ago. Can't remember who it was, but he got knocked out by a head kick and a knee from Royval. I don't know anybody who's surviving that. He ate bombs off Cop in round 3 and survived. He ate bombs off Cop and like some knees off Cop in round 3 and survived. Perez is not packing that type of heat. So I do feel like the chin narrative for Nicolau is a little bit overstated. I really feel like the only way this fight ends is by submission inside the distance. So I do have some interest in the over. Also, Nicolau is pretty defensively responsible for the most part, and he's very negative. So, I get why folks would play the under because both guys do get finished from a lot of their losses. However, just stylistically and for flyweights, it is a little bit surprising. The market's chosen to side towards the under here from, a market perspective, but I don't necessarily agree. I think we go over at a higher clip than we go under. And I do think Perez is live to win a decision. The decision lines are also pretty wide for Perez. It was like plus 550 on FanDuel today. I don't really mind that at all. I think that's a good look. So I am tempted on the over price, but I think a lot of sharp folks got on that earlier today. So I'll probably pass. Side with Perez decision probably from a prop perspective. And I might play Perez money line, but I might just leave it at, Perez decision and then see how the fight goes. But if I get like plus 175 on Perez, I'll have to make a pretty sizable bet on it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm so close on the dog. I don't know what I'm waiting for. It's
for me, I just need like another 10. For some reason, I just need like another 10 cents mentally for where I cap the fight and like what I wrote down for how I like the percentages of what I want to play. I'm super close to just doing it. So,
all right, cool. Let's go over it quickly. Favorite bets. I mean, I got the under 1.5 in the span Gusco. I would say you can also play the fight ends in round 1. If it doesn't end in round 1, don't come at me. Onama, I'm considering. I got the under in Urosh fight, but I can't really, it's predicated on Urosh knocking out. That means maybe play some round 1 KO, but I think that's trash too. That's about it. And I'm considering Machado KO, like you said. Some Ivana Petrovic KO. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as good as the JJ KO that we hit. Yeah. Onama, Perez, the dogs I'm really considering. Lipsky decision, maybe. Yeah. Hard to give you a best bet other than the Perez Nicolau under 1.5. What about you, mate? You have a best bet?
Yeah. Hanato Denise round 1 KO at plus 100 on Bet365.
Nice. That's going to be completely ruined by the time I get home. But that's fine. I'll hit it at slight. It's better than his money line, so I'll still hit it.
Yeah, I mean, the round one straight up is like minus 105, I think. So if you think he's submitting, you could just eat the 5 cents. But yeah, I feel like my thought was after taping it was like I'll take plus money on any Denise KO, and who gives at that point I don't care. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's a good bet. It's a good bet. Big Bird here talking shit. Stop being a pussy. We need profit in April. We sure do. What I will do, the plays that I do play, I'll play them properly. I'll play like in 1K on Onama and shit like that. Play Onama and Perez. Keep agreeing with me. That's why I can't lock him in, because I know that you're on him. So I'm a bit spooked. I'm a bit spooked, Big Bird. Now, what I will get me in profit is Zeb Vincent on LFA, the Aryan brother. He will get me to profit in April. I played plus 180. I think he's like plus 130 now. I'm pretty sure it's going to stand on plus $130, $2.30, because when people tape him, no one's going to be brave enough to actually play him because he looks like shit. But I regret not playing him last time as an underdog. I don't care that he won via illegal dick kick. Still won. And now he's dropping down to welterweight, and he's fighting one of the worst guys to ever do it, Nielsen. This guy is the worst to ever do it. Doesn't have a good win on his record. His best win is some black dude that was had a massive gut, and he was like 2-2, and he kept getting dropped and somehow won a split decision in that fight. Essentially, he'll probably take Zeb down a few times, but Zeb's going to get up and probably just knock him out in 3 rounds. So, yeah, that's all I got for LFA. But I got a lot more of the card to take. Jono, hopefully we Aussies get some significant strike props. Yeah, I'm not touching it on Bet365. It's a new account, so I've got to save it for more losing KSW and Octagon bets. My plays are Kareem, Perez, Means. Seems like a fun card. Yeah. You got anything to add, my friend?
Trying to think of what I have on LFA. I have Getalodge or whatever his name is. I think some folks might have ruined the line, whose names will be withheld for their consent. Yeah, I have a couple things that I want to play there still left, but limits have to open up. They still have them at $100, which is 10 units for me, but I'm gonna not steam them.
Easy peasy, man. Looking forward to taping him and discussing him in Discord and not telling anyone else. No, I'm joking. I'm still trying to put bets on Twitter, but any bet that actually holds and the line doesn't move, I put on Twitter, but that hasn't been happening recently. It's annoying. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking really quickly about all the fights and saving me a lot of time. And yeah, talk soon. Peace out.